Like my whole career has been me literally telling myself, get up and just try.
I'm your host, Katie Levine, and this is Beyond My Lens. Come with me while I reconnect with the incredible people I've photographed to share the stories behind the images you see. Because every powerful portrait starts with a powerful story. Beyond My Lens is brought to you by Narrative, the best culling and editing workflow for photographers, and my favorite way to edit. Today we have on the podcast Camara AUnique Helps, an award-winning celebrity makeup artist, instructor, coach, and who has built a reputation as one of the most sought-after makeup artists in the United States and beyond. In 2018, you launched Camara AUnique Beauty, which is a faith-based beauty brand featuring handcrafted mink lashes, and earning Essence Magazine's Best in Black Beauty Award in 2020. And I know you're rooted in your Brooklyn background and your faith, and you blend kind of your artistry, compassion, and spiritual purpose in all that you do.
I do. Hi.
Uh, Thank you so much for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I'm so honored.
So we met because I did a FaceTime shoot with you,
Yeah.
and you were kind of just telling me your story, and I thought you were so inspiring, and I ended up buying your lashes, and I just thought you were just like such an amazing person in being rooted in your faith, and also just like sticking to kind of being a New York-based artist, but also kind of going beyond that. So do you want to kind of talk about your upbringing a bit?
Yeah. I mean, I was born and raised in Brooklyn. My family is from Trinidad. My mom is a amazing woman. She was a single parent. And so I did not grow up with a father in my life. Um, I would say I was that young lady that kind of was the little rebellious one. I went to school for dental lab technology, and then I was like, this is boring. Ain't nobody want to do this. I don't want to make dentures for a living. And so I got into kind of like retail, fell in love with retail. Because being an only child, I was like, this is perfect for me. I get to meet people, I get to experience people. And it was just something that I really truly like enjoyed. If you do hear my washer machine, I am doing laundry. Do you hear it?
I don't hear anything.
Okay, good. Maybe because I got the mic. Um, and so it has been a journey of me just learning a lot about myself and learning to do the things that makes me happy. I first started my career as a video girl. So I was doing music videos and modeling for hair magazines, and I was on the Maury show once.
No way.
I was, yeah. Is she a man or a woman was the show. And it was like, I mean, it was pretty obvious I'm a woman, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun doing that. So I did a lot of different experiences on TV and with modeling and with all types of things I was doing. I was doing a lot. I was doing a lot. I was trying to find my thing.
Yeah, well, I'm sure a lot of those experiences, like I know, like for me, I'm a photographer, right? But I did styling and you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And all these other things that kind of led up. So I felt like I did every kind of little thing on set before
Yeah.
actually being the photographer. And I feel like it gives you an appreciation. Like, so by being the model, then in being a makeup artist, you kind of have that connection.
It does. And it also helps me like help with clients when they're nervous and when they don't know how to pose and when they need help with posing. It helped me with like a lot of that, like how to present myself and how to show up as well. I was also a jewelry designer too. I designed jewelry. I did a lot. I designed jewelry and I used to be in it was like in magazines. I literally saw someone the other day and they were like, I'm still wearing my earrings. And that was over 15 years ago. I was doing this. Yeah. Yeah. And I sold in stores in Brooklyn and in Manhattan, and it was on covers of magazines, and it was doing pretty well. Yeah.
Well, I think also just growing up in New York, you're kind of more like in that spot. Because I mean, I went to New York when I was 21 and I was like walking down, I thought I was
Yeah.
like in the movie, right? But when you
Yeah.
have that root of being from New York, it just opens you up to all the possibilities.
Yeah, it does. It does. And I think I just never had any fear. I think it was just one of those things of like, okay, I tried it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. At least I know I tried. And I
Was
think
your
that
mom like encouraging too, or?
No, it was just me. Honestly, it was me encouraging myself. I feel like I'm like a David in the Bible. Like I've always encouraged myself. I've always been that person that was just like, just do it. Even with makeup, when I got into makeup, somebody told me that I wasn't good at it. And I was just like people would tell me I wasn't good at it. I wasn't like this is something I should give up on. But I always felt like there was something there and no one would want to teach me. Like I
So you
would
had no mentors or anything like that?
Nothing. No one would want to teach me. I would ask people at the Mac stores, like, because I used to work at this like location at 34th Street called Beautiful Planet. And when I worked there, the Mac stores, like at that time, Mac was like popping to work
Yeah.
at. And so there was like two Mac counters in between where I was, and I would just see the Mac girls walking back and forth. And I'll just be like, can you teach me how to do that Ruby Woo and current lip? And can you teach me this? Can you teach me how to do foundation? Can you? And they would be so mean to me.
Were you in like Herald Square or where were you at?
Herald Square, 34th Street. Yep.
That's amazing. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And they used to be so mean to me. And I used to be like, man, I said, well, you know what? I'm going to learn how to do it my own. So I learned how to do makeup on my own, really. So everything was just like me, like my whole career has been me literally telling myself, get up and just try, get up and move, get up and just do it. Even with the beauty line, I literally was like, just do it.
Well, so you have a mentorship, right, called More Than Just Makeup Academy.
Yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
and it's because what I notice is sometimes people, when people are mean to them, right, they'll be like, okay, and especially in kind of the fashion industry, they're like, okay, so that's how I was treated. Now that's how I'm going to treat other people. Or you can take the other approach, right, and be like, no, I want to help people. Because I had people kind of similar things. Like I got hit in a bunch, like in the head with equipment when I was first assisting, because some
Oh,
guys were
wow.
jealous of me, and
Oh, wow.
oh yeah, it was awful. I used to intern for Annie Leibovitz, and one of the assistants was totally like mad that I was excelling the way I was, and I just got like beat down. But I
Cool.
always was like, hey, I'm gonna take the kind of mean things that happened to me, and then now want to help people instead of the
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah. And I think that's how we have to kind of move. I mean, but I have my last name is Helps.
Yeah.
So, so I mean, it's naturally, it was like embedded in me to be a helpmate, to be someone that helps others. But I just love people. And I also know what it feels like to like wonder what is the how, what is the why, what is the way, like how to get into certain things. I always could see when someone is like, and then they just need the extra like push. Like this young lady just on TikTok just now, she was telling this like whole idea that God gave her. She was like, God gave me this idea and it's gonna be this. And she's sharing the idea. And I said, girl, let me give you some wisdom. Like take it to him first, not to the internet. So I just always see certain things. And I think one of the things that I believe that God has graced me with is to be like wise counsel for people. And so I take it very serious and I honor it. And I honor when somebody trusts you with like a secret or trust you with some things about them. Especially with working with celebrities. Like I've seen things in the homes, I've seen experience things around people. And even with the NDAs I've never signed, you'll never know about my client's business. So I just try to move with integrity in at all times when it comes to like people, but also in how can I help them to as a saint. I don't know. It's like,
I mean,
yeah,
spiritual wisdom is a complete gift.
yeah, it is. It is. But it's something that God says that we can always have. Like we just have to ask for it. So I asked for it. I was like, I want to be wise because I feel like I've made a lot of mistakes in my life without being wise and not having like big sisters or having people to tell me like, hey, don't do this or hey, don't date that kind of guy. I've never had that. Like I've learned like literally in every area of my life, I had to learn the hard way.
Well, and so how does that make you navigate now? Okay, so you're mentoring like, young women, I'm assuming, and maybe some
Yeah.
men
It
and
makes
everything
me
like
it,
that.
it makes me lead with compassion.
Mm.
It makes me lead with compassion. It makes me lead with also integrity, but also a lot of compassion and love. I think if I don't move with the kindness, with like the fruits of the spirit, I always try to move with that mindset of like, how do I navigate a person that is like, I could see where they're supposed to be. I could see it immediately. I'm like, oh no, you're supposed to be here, baby girl. But if they don't see it, I'm not going to get frustrated. I just walk them through the process to see it. Even like one of my mentees now, she's like speaking and she did two when with during one of our times that we were together, she was going to Nigeria to visit family and I was like, you going there and you're going to do makeup classes. You're not gonna waste this time." And she was like, "I'm scared." And I was like, "You're gonna do it." And she did it, and she sold out 2 classes. Yeah, and so I just I kind of like see that thing in a person and pull it out of them with kindness, with love. But also I kind of get a little hard sometimes because I need to. But other than that, it's always like they always fulfill what God has called them to do.
Well, even with like you're saying, maybe you do it in like a hard way or whatever, but I feel like that's because your spiritual push is so strong that God's like
Yeah,
telling you to tell him. So you're like, no, I have to do it. Yeah.
yeah, it is. It is. It is.
Also, how do you navigate your faith and working with celebrities and Hollywood and everything like that? Like, how do you stay true to your morals? And we talked about it a bit before we started recording, but I want to just, because for me too, I found my faith in like 2019. My
Okay.
dad was Jewish and my mom was Catholic, and I never was really anything.
Yeah.
And I started going to church home and church Zoe in LA, and it changed my life. And I just remember like being on Mulholland Drive, listening to worship music, crying my
Yeah.
eyes out, and being like,
Same. I probably did that too. We
"Really?
probably was right next to each other. I lived in LA during that time too. Yeah.
No way!"
I was in LA when we did our shoot. I was
That
living
is
in LA.
with the cool. You had that
Yeah.
amazing
Wow.
wallpaper.
Yes. I was just talking to my friend about my wallpaper today.
It was so beautiful. But
You
yeah, no,
too.
I mean, literally, like I was so lost, and I was like, okay, how God, how can I use like my gifts? And I feel like you're doing the same thing. You're like, hey, yes, I'm a makeup artist, but that is just the vessel for how
Yeah.
to help people. Because like I know with me with my photography, I love, hey, I see you, I see the beautifulness, I see like I just was talking to a whole Harlem Globetrotter I photographed, and he's like, you're the first
Oh,
photographer that believed in me. And thinking
oh,
back on it, I was like, oh my gosh, I was really like not pushing him, but I was like, dude, you're awesome.
dope. Yeah.
Yeah, like believe in yourself.
I love that.
So, yeah, so how do you feel like God has moves through you and yeah, and how he's navigating? Yes, you're a makeup artist, but it feels like you're a lot more than that.
I am more than just makeup. That's why I trademarked it. Um, I mean, most people that get me, they know what they're getting. But I have been talking about my faith and Christ for about 8 years now, on social. And it wasn't something that was like heard of when I started, because it was like people were like, why don't you just focus on the makeup and focus? And in 2020 is when I put both feet in really, and I really started talking about God and was just like, I honestly want to like merge this faith and beauty thing together, because I see that people are like needing it and they're kind of pulling it out of me when I go on my lives, because I was doing these lives every day. And over like 200 people were coming on every day to watch the lives. It was amazing. That was when, the COVID was going on and stuff. And so I took time away from social media, took time off to really get into my word and really to get to know who God is. I really wanted to know him. And so when I got back into, like, when he started to really push me back out again, I felt like I always had this boldness in me. The boldness was always there. It was always there. I was always going to talk about God, but everything kind of shifted when I truly knew who he was. And it was just, I don't know, he's something that he does when he kind of like a promotion in the spirit, right? So that when people now meet you, they know now to like the way that they treat you, the way that they approach you. It's just that they know who they're in front of in a way. I don't know how to explain it. It's not like I'm like kind of boastful about it. I just carry him, and they just kind of flow with it. I don't make it a big thing too, where I'm like kind of like in your face too much about it. But if I did feel like I had to speak about Christ and I had to speak up about something, I'm going to speak up. So like a while ago, I was faced with a situation with a client where I was forced to speak up about what kind of atmosphere we were in and what I would not be okay with for myself as a Christian woman. And I gave her the opportunity, like, hey, if you want to come with me, you can come, but I'm going to sit outside. And so I was in the middle of a unknown country, I won't share where, and I sat outside in the middle of this country by myself. getting torn up by mosquitoes because I refused to go into a place that I knew was not of God, you know? So I just stand for who he is. And I just feel like, how can I not? With all that he's done in my life, with all that I've experienced, with all the blessings that I've been opened up to, with all of the the crazy career that I've had, like all of this stuff, none of it doesn't matter, but it does. When I look at it, I'm like, I cannot like deny who my God is to make someone else feel comfortable.
Wow, that's so beautiful. And it seems like I mean, you interwove it even to the name of your lashes, right? Aren't they like Esther and Sarah?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
named
like
it Everything is after a women in the Bible. So at first I had it named after clients, and had it named after like Ava DuVernay and Julie Wilson from who was with Essence at the time, and now she's with Cosmo. And just amazing women that I was just inspired by, that I love dearly. And Julie was part of my story too with my brand, because I remember I brought the products with me, and God always sets me up in places in ways that I like kind of would count myself out. And he was like, no, I'm tapping you in. And so, I was at a photo shoot for Essence at that time, and I had brought the lashes, and I got the lashes like sent to me. And when I did, I was like, I'm just gonna use them on clients and just get rid of everything and just use it at, on shoots and stuff like that, just to get rid of them. And so I brought them to the shoot with me. Julie was like, oh, this packaging is so pretty. Oh, these lashes are beautiful. Like, oh my God. And she was like, wait, your name is on this. And I was like, oh, I was thinking about it, coming out with a lash line, but I said, I'm going to just like, and she was like, you was thinking about it. No, you're going to do it. And it's going to be an Essence in the next couple of months. So it dropped in Essence on, in the magazine. I think she told me that in February is when it was in the magazine. And
wow,
so so I named everything after those women. And then when I put both feet in with the Lord about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, is when God told me change the names to the women in the Bible. And I was just like, like I didn't understand why. And then as I said yes and just tried, that's when I got the big, huge $2 million order with BoxyCharm and Ipsy. And then other things started to happen, and it was just really amazing. Yeah.
wow, how inspiring is that?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
I mean, for any makeup artist listening, what would you say to them and give them advice like about how to keep going, how to push through, or like launching your own line,
Oh,
anything like
God.
that?
Well, one thing I want to say too, I want to be very clear about, is that if you're going to do something with God's name on it, just make sure you're called to it, and it's not something that you're doing just because it seems like it's trending. Because the call is something that is very hard. It's not something that I do. Like, I didn't name the things after the women in the Bible because their stories were dope. Now, yes, their stories are dope, but I didn't want to create my line in a way where I had it just to do it. Like, it was something that I felt like pulled to do. And I can't lie, that me saying yes to God broke me. I got broken into places. Like, God removed me from places. I don't get product like I used to. I don't get invited to things like I used to. Like, just be ready for, if you're saying yes to God and truly saying yes to God, that you will not be as accepted by people, And I don't want to speak that because somebody's story may be different as well. But I know that for my story, it was just like, it was a big turnaround in my life, a huge turnaround in my career. And I often blamed God. I often got angry about it, often was very sad about it, often wanted to throw the whole thing away and say, you know what, bump this, because what sense does it make to do it if this is going to happen? But he will always correct me and always bring me back to my why. And when I look back at like the different brands that a lot of people are wearing that are anchored in other things and anchored in those things that are not of God, I I choose to keep moving. So now if I had to give advice to someone that's a makeup artist or anyone that just wanted to do a business or beauty, anything for God, I would say, trust your process, but also know your times and seasons. Know
Seasons
your
and
times and
reasons.
seasons.
Yeah.
Know the time, like know the timing of when that thing is supposed to launch, so that when it doesn't launch when you think it's the time, that you don't give up. So it's always taking it back to God and asking God the who, the what, the when, the where, and the why.
Wasn't that the thing that everyone says like God's you have your ideas and God laughs or whatever or something like
Yes.
that? Yeah.
Yes. And so he also does give us word of knowledge, right? And he gives us understanding when we ask, because the Bible does say to ask, seek, and knock, right? And it says that if we ask him, we will get the things that we want to know. We will like get the answers to the things that we want to know. And so when we seek him also, we will get to know the things that we need to know for the timing. And so I feel like for anyone that really wants to do a line is just to ask God and to know this is what you're calling me to do. And then I say run and run fast and just do it.
Well,
And
that's how I felt with the
have everything in order. Your name in order, trademark, copyrights, business bank account, all the things, all the stuff in order.
well, and how did you learn? I mean, because you're saying like you really didn't have any mentors or examples, like even all
No.
that stuff, the nitty-gritty of kind of business, right? Were you learning, how are you learning all this? Trial
Trial
and
and
error? Yeah.
trial and error. Trial and error. Like literally it's been trial and error. Like I just transferred my whole business to an S Corp this year.
Better for
You know,
taxes? Yeah.
yeah, because I'm like, who paid $30,000? Like, no, but thank God I'm like, that's the amount of money where we have to pay a lot of money in taxes, but no, no, I'm an employee, so there was a lot of trial and error, and thank God for my accountant who helped me with that.
Self-awareness seems like a central like on how you navigate challenges. So how are you staying like grounded when these do like can you talk about maybe some mistakes that you've made in your career? Because I think that always helps people kind of not in a negative way,
Yeah,
but just how to learn from kind of your
I
own
think
experiences.
I think a lot of the mistakes I've made is like a lot of it has to deal with like reading a room and knowing how to read a room, knowing not how to. I feel like one of the things that's happening right now in the industry is a lot of the artists are making themselves the talent and they're forgetting that they're here to actually serve the talent. And so it's like a struggle and a fight between the real talent and the person that's here to serve the talent. And so a lot of them don't know how to read the room. And so one of the mistakes that I've made in my career, like, has been not knowing how to read a room, not knowing how to go in and be quiet, and knowing like this person is learning their words, learning their lines, learning their, or just trying to meditate on something to prepare themselves. I think a lot of the times that I used to didn't realize back in the days was sometimes when you're working with actors and actresses, they have their kind of like thing that they do before they go and put themselves on a stage. And so you want to come in and you want to play whatever music you want to play, and you don't really consider the person in front of you. So I've had things like that I've done, and I teach people on that too. Like try to actually like learn how to read a room, set like in kind of examine the atmosphere, examine what's happening, examine what's going on around you. What is this person feeling like? Also pray, praying before you go into a room, and just knowing like, what am I about to walk into, and just preparing yourself for that. So I would say that some of my mistakes that I made was not knowing how to read a room, and now I teach people how to do it.
Well, I always just like on my internship, I always say like I learned how to use my ears and not my mouth, you
Come
know?
on, that's good,
It's
that's
so
good.
true.
It
And now that
is.
you're saying that, I've totally noticed where a makeup artist maybe or even stylist or somebody, they're kind of making it about them instead of making it about the experience.
Exactly.
And I've seen like celebrities be like, you can just tell in their face that they don't want to be speaking, or maybe had to get up at 4 a.m. or whatever it is. And this is their only time of the day where they get to just chill and maybe feel pampered or whatever it is. And so,
And
yeah,
then also we got to recognize too that some of them don't really work like that. So when they finally do get a job and they get booked and then they choose to have you there with them, they're like actually choosing you, or you're being chosen to be there, right? And so you're like, there's a reason why you're there. And so asking like, what is the reason why I'm here? And what is the thing that you're good at? And maybe it's not the makeup or the hair or the nails or whatever, but maybe it's the piece that you carry that
mm,
person's needs. Because what we fail to recognize is that God sees what a person is going through. His eyes is on everything. right? And so he knows that this person was up all night worrying about the lines, worrying about the experience, because this person hasn't worked since the strikes. A lot of people have not worked since the strikes. Let's just say that, right? And so this person hasn't worked since the strikes. And so you're literally there and you're just like, you've been busy, you've been going, your life is great. And you're just like, yeah, I'm here, and you're just doing and moving and talking and and this person is literally like, oh my God, in their heads, like, I'm gonna mess up. This is gonna be bad. This is gonna be terrible. Oh, what did you just shut up? I just like to just ask a person, like, what is it that you need from me, and what is your expectations?
That's amazing.
And what are your expectations of me? What do you need from me exactly? And I had to learn that, because sometimes I could come in with my own expectations, and really for them, they're just like, I just need to see your face, and I just need peace. Like, don't touch me up. Don't do this. Don't do that. Just let me have an eye on you. And I said, okay, no problem. And I'm right there.
Have
So,
you Well, no, have you ever also had an experience where maybe because I noticed it a long time ago on set, like he's a singer now that like at the time he was small, but now he's super massive, right? But he didn't want to wear the clothes on set. He didn't want to have his hair touched because it didn't feel like him. And
mm,
so have you ever had to deal with any clients being like, okay, hey, the makeup doesn't feel like me or the hair doesn't feel like me, and then they don't feel like themselves, or you have to redo it, or like how do you
mhm.
deal with stuff like that?
Oh my God. I mean, I just recently had that. The person that I worked with, this client was the first client that I've had that actually knows herself to the point where she doesn't sit in my chair and she's like, do whatever. She's like, no, this is what I like. And
Mm.
I sat there and I learned. I sat there and I learned, and I told, and one of our little jokes is, keep me humble. Keep me humble, because I don't want to come in with ego, and I don't want to come in with any pride. I want to come in with just, this person knows themselves. They have been in the industry for over how many years? 40 plus years. She knows her face. She knows how she wants her skin to look. She's absolutely stunning. Let me learn from her of how she likes to do her face. And then let me try to replicate what she wants. And then I could always give in suggestions like, hey, what if we did this? And then she's open, because now it's not a dictatorship, it's a partnership. So I like to move like a partner with the person.
Well, and because you can be like navigating a ship, right? But like there's all these people that are all part of it, right? So,
Everybody's a part of it. Everybody's part of the team. And I think if we looked at it like that, then we can bring a piece into the room that allows the person to move at a certain pace, and the hairstylist is comfortable, and the styling is like, oh, okay, we're flowing. So everybody's just flowing together, and then you just coincide on just one huge, beautiful look that's just gorgeous, and it's spoken about, and it's getting attraction and all that stuff. When we come together, it's so much better. When we're trying to make it about ourselves, you could see the division in on the person's team. And I've seen it when you see certain red carpet looks. You're like, okay, the hair doesn't go with that dress, the makeup doesn't go with that hair, the this, and you could tell that nobody had a conversation. Everybody was in it for themselves.
well, and how do you, so, I mean, knowing your worth also in these things, right? Like, how do
Yeah.
you stand up for what you're thing, and then how do you collaborate with people? And then even like, I know I have certain situations where I've done stuff maybe for, for spec or whatever, because I'm like, hey, I really want to work with that person. I'll just do this, but I make sure I get my credits or whatever it is, right? So how do you navigate all of that kind of industry stuff that most people don't know about?
I think it's just humility. Honestly, like when I work with Miss Ange, I'm going to her stylist Jen, and I'm saying, "Hey Jen, what's the idea that you had for this suit? What's the idea that you had for this look, so that it's actually making sense, So I think it's being humble enough to ask,
So there's
I'm
cohesion. Yeah.
yeah, just ask. Like, just asking questions, just being comfortable enough. And if you're uncomfortable with asking questions, then maybe you're not supposed to be there.
Well, your curiosity mixed with intelligence, mixed with, you know what I mean, perseverance seems
Yeah.
like the real glue to being successful.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's and humility,
Hmm.
and letting go pride. Because I could literally walk into a room and say, I'm Camara AUnique celebrity makeup artist. I'm this, I'm that, I got that. And that's not gonna get me nowhere. It's literally like, yeah, I've been doing this for over 15 plus years. I love what I do, but I love working with you more. So it guide me and how you want me to treat you and how you want me to honor you in this experience. And I've said it to people. I've said that. And I literally would say, like, even when I'm showing the makeup, like when I'm about to show makeup to somebody, I'm like, I know that I'm like, you know, somebody that you sought after and that you've been wanting to work with, but this is also my first time working with you. I know you know your face better than me. I don't. I'm just learning your face today. So if there's anything that you don't like, let me know. I have thick skin. You will not make me feel bad. I want you to feel your 100% best to go on that stage and to do what you need to do. And they were like, thank you for that. Because what's been happening is a lot of artists has been literally knucking if you bucking and fighting people because they're like, I don't like this eyeshadow. I don't like that lip. And they get upset and they get angry and they get like, and I'm like, stop listening to Erykah Badu. Stop listening. You're an artist and you're sensitive about your stuff. Stop. It's not, you're literally talking about someone's image and likeness. Like you're literally talking about someone's image and likeness that you can't get angry about it. You
Well, and
can't.
that could be the difference too. Like imagine if you kind of start like an issue before even a photo shoot, like, and then that energy comes to me, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm bouncing the photographer,
Exactly.
and then they're, you know what I mean? Then that shows you can completely see it on somebody's face when they've had a bad morning.
Exactly. And they're
Yeah.
and you don't even and you're realizing like, oh my God, it was their glam team fighting them and back mouthing and all that stuff and saying all this stuff. And then it's just like, shut up. You know, like let them learn, let them go through their own journey as well. But you just be there as a, and I know a lot of us like to think too, like, oh, but this is my work, it's my work. And I understand that, but this is also someone's image and their likeness, you know? And I think dictating what they feel they should look like is like, it's not good. It's not okay. I think building that relationship with them and then slowly putting in your input that gradually builds this beautiful form. That's why I tell a lot of people, like a lot of talent, like actors and actresses and musicians, find the team that like listens and stick with that team. Like stick with the team that you have, because like you could look at people like Issa Rae. She's had her entire glam squad, her whole entire career, and you could see that they just flow together. Everybody flows together. She always looks good. She never misses. She always looks amazing, you know? And so it's just having people that you can trust, but also people that you actually want to grow with and you take with you.
Well, and then that's like the same. I mean, it's the same as an actor getting, you know, booked again for a season and season on set,
That
right?
part.
So
That
that's
part.
how for makeup artists or entrepreneurs, that's how you're getting longevity in your work. Like, you
Yeah.
know, rather being like, oh, I've been on a soap opera for 10 years. That's your, you know, that's like having a 10-year career at a corporate place, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, if you get booked with one client, then you're, you know, like my friend, he does Sydney Sweeney's like hair. He's going with her everywhere. He was at the Jeff Bezos wedding. He was at, you know,
Mhm.
Kane's. He was at, you know, Jimmy Fallon. He's
Yeah.
with her everywhere because
Yeah.
she trusts him.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she's probably become his, like they probably became friends, you know? And that's a good place to be. That's a good
Yeah.
place to be. But the only way you get there is by coming in with humility from the beginning and coming in to serve.
Well, and so what's next for you? Because I know you're doing a little speaking and maybe new products or what's going on.
You know, honestly, I am just in a season right now of this is a transition that I'm in. It's just a transition in season. So right now, yes, I'm doing makeup still and still touching and doing people, but I am just enjoying life. I think I am like, you know, I just turned 40. I think my 30s have been like, go, go, go. I got to get this, got to get that. And I think as I turn 40, I am at this place now where I'm like, what makes sense? So finishing up a new book, that's what I'm working on right now. And just enjoying the last bits of summer, enjoying like going on walks, enjoying you know, going on hikes and working on trails is something I've always enjoyed actually. I just never really share too much about it, but I do. I'm just enjoying Camara. I'm enjoying this new person. I think 39 was very a difficult year for me because it was that going into 40 and I was like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. You know, I didn't accomplish nothing in my life. And then literally like a few, like maybe I think like a few months before my birthday, I was like, oh, it's not that bad. Okay. Okay, it's going okay, I'm okay. And so I think right now where I'm at, what's new for me is embracing the new me, embracing this new decade, embracing this new maturity, wisdom, um, and embracing the new transitions and the new people that may be coming and people that may be leaving. Just embracing it all and not overthinking.
And we also haven't touched on your book, Love Letters from your, is it from your
Oh,
daughter?
yeah,
Yeah.
love letters to my daughters. Um, that is that's a book that I wrote. It's a devotional, 52-week devotional that I wrote with the Lord. So it is a prophetic book. So it's love letters that God wrote me that are very intentional and amazing. And I just one day he was like, "You're gonna share this with people," and I was like, "No, I'm not." And he was like, "Yes, you are," and I was like, "No, I'm not." And he was like, "Yes, you are," and I was like, "Okay, okay, I will." And so I it took 2 years for that book to come out because I went through a lot with publishing. But finally it did come out. It's not perfect, but it's beautiful. And it is also the first 10 days is on the Bible app with you version.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah, I'm a partner with the Bible app. So you could check out if you put my name in, you could check it out there. And it's also on Amazon.
That's incredible. I'm gonna buy it. And then also,
Yeah.
I obviously have the Bible app. So,
Thank you. It's sweet. It's a sweet book. It's just for women to build an intentional relationship with God and to see him as a father. I think that what religion has taught us is that he's some dictatorship and he's just like this and he's just such a cute cuddly bear. Yes, he is now a very powerful and strong God.
Old
You
Testament God. Yeah.
but he's just a sweetheart and he's so kind and so loving. And so I think the book allows you to see the kindness of God, the love of God, and the peace of God. It just invites women to see him as a dad.
Well, I mean, that was one of the most healing things for me is when you realize that your like earthly father is not actually your dad, it's your,
Yeah.
heavenly father. And there's a lot of healing that can come in different parts of that. And so, I mean, that's like one of the most beautiful things. And then you have to have humility for, the men in your life and everything like that.
Yeah.
Um, Also,
And
have
just
you listened to John Keith, Grow Your Wings?
no.
I think Christian rap is the best music around right now,
Okay.
but it's all about like, there's like Heavenly Father, would you even bother with someone like me? Like it's so beautiful. And I think you would like it. So
I'll
just,
listen to it.
yeah.
John Keith, Grow Your Wings.
Yes.
I'm gonna listen to it when we hang up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that whole album, start to finish, I think it's one of the best albums of the year.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll listen because in my head, I'm a what's that called what's that called when somebody is like a A&R? In my head, I'm an A&R.
Oh, really?
In my head, I'm an A&R.
You're like
Like
an exec. Yeah.
I'm promise you, if I hear something and I hear somebody and I'm like, oh no, this person is it. They always end up becoming it. And so I'm like, I'm gonna listen. John Key, Grow Your Rings. I'm listening.
Yeah. Start to
Check it out.
finish. There's a whole like song about how like it's like God's song about loving people. And it's, talks about
Mm.
how you painted a picture and it's not perfect, but God's still going to put it on his fridge. So,
Yeah. Oh, I like that. God is
right?
putting his picture on his fridge. You
It's
see
beautiful.
that?
Yeah. It's called
Because
a
it
call.
shows him as a dad. Because
Yeah.
that's what dads do. They put your pictures and stuff on the fridge.
Yeah, there's this
Oh,
pastor Preston Morrison too that also said that he had a conversation with my husband because my husband's actually getting his ministry degree right now, so it's
man.
a whole journey when you're like, I
Pass his
wanted a man
wife.
of God, and then you're like, oh, I didn't know I was getting a pastor.
Yeah, yeah. Come on, pass his wife. Amen.
This is my journey. But yeah, anyways, so just to go back because I want to wrap it up as I know
Yeah.
your time is valuable and I'm so appreciative. But yeah, like I mean, for anybody that's wanting to get mentored by you or be your mentee or get mentored by you, how would they go about reaching out to you or any advice you'd have before they even sign up?
I am doing the training and all of the stuff. So if anybody does want to get in touch with me, please reach out at CamaraAUnique.com. You can reach out, fill out a info, like your information, and then I'll get back to you and we set up a meeting and go. And then the lashes are available. on CamaraAUniqueBeauty.com. I have brushes now. They're so bomb and so amazing. They're really good brushes, by the way, like bomb.
The lashes too. Like I literally have it in my makeup area. Like I
Uh,
just like it's like to me, I don't know. Like I never actually used it because I just thought it was like a collector's thing. Like that's how I
It
viewed it.
is like that. It is. But you get up to 25 wears with proper care.
That's insane.
Yeah, 25 wears with proper
And I
care.
bought the eyeliner too, and
Oh, their liner is bomb. Which
yeah,
one did you get, black or clear?
I think black.
Oh, yeah. So you could do like an eyeliner,
I
like a
honestly, but I now that I wear, I wish I had done clear because I don't really wear eyeliner. Like I just
I'm I'm the same.
yeah,
I don't do the black liner at all,
yeah.
ever. I only do the clear.
I used to be like the emo girl, and you couldn't even see
Yeah,
my eyes.
same. Same. Yeah, I'm very much into the clear liner, but they're fun. It's beautiful stuff, all vegan. And I used a clear band on the lashes as well because I wanted to make sure that women that had alopecia and cancer that they could feel like the lashes were made for them as well. 'Cause
Wow,
a lot of people with cancer and alopecia lose their lashes, so I wanted to just give it a clear band so that it had a place that it could sit on their eyes, but not like show, you
that's
know?
so intentional. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just,
So everybody should go get a pair of lashes and
yeah,
then
we'll
sign
do a
up.
discount code too, like with the name of your podcast. Like,
Oh, that's amazing. We'll put it in the memo notes. I'd love that.
yeah, and I'll give you a discount code.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm very inspired by you, and I know everyone's going to get a lot out of this episode.
Thank you. I'm inspired by you too.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to Beyond My Lens. I'm Katie Levine, and this podcast was created out of passion for sharing these stories. If you like this episode, be sure to subscribe, share it with a friend, and join me next time as we go beyond the lens.